What if I told you your energy is too strong, so strong it pushes people away without you even realizing it? Shaolin masters say an overpowering aura can isolate you, attract the wrong attention, or even make others uneasy around you. Here are 10 undeniable signs your energy is too intense for most people, and how to balance it. Most people spend their lives trying to build strength, confidence, and presence. But Shaolin teachings reveal a hidden truth. Too much power in your aura can backfire. It's not about weakness, it's about harmony. If you've ever felt like people react strangely around you, distance themselves for no reason, or even challenge you unnecessarily, this isn't coincidence, it's energy. Today, we'll break down the 10 signs your aura is too powerful for the average person, and how to channel it wisely. People get defensive around you for no reason. You walk into a room, and something shifts. The air changes, the conversation takes a turn. Maybe someone throws a joke your way, but it's got an edge to it. Or a co-worker who's usually relaxed suddenly gets competitive, as if they need to prove something, and you're just standing there, not even saying a word. This isn't in your head. It's not paranoia. It's energy. When your presence carries a certain weight, people react sometimes before they even realize why. It's instinct. Human beings are wired to sense power, and if that power feels unanchored, uncontrolled, or just too much, it triggers something deep inside them, a survival mechanism. Because energy that isn't grounded feels unpredictable, and unpredictability that registers as a threat. But here's the thing, you're not the problem. The problem is the misalignment. A strong aura isn't bad, it's a force. But like any force, if it's not channeled, it spills over. It radiates in ways that make others uneasy. Even if you're not doing anything wrong, they don't know why they feel that way. So they fill in the blanks. Maybe they assume you're judging them. Maybe they think you're arrogant. Or maybe they just feel small in comparison, and that discomfort turns into defensiveness. So what do? The answer isn't to shrink yourself. It's not to dull your energy, or try to fit in where you don't belong. The answer is control. In the old teachings there's a principle: stillness moves mountains. When someone reacts to your energy with tension, the worst thing you can do is match it. If they throw a sharp comment and you fire back, now there's a battle. If they get competitive and you engage, now it's a fight. But if you stay calm, if you breathe, center yourself, and let their energy pass through you like wind through a tree, something interesting happens. Their own energy has nowhere to go. It bounces back to them. And in that moment, one of two things will happen. Either they'll calm down, mirroring your stillness, or their own unease will become so obvious that it exposes them, not you. This is the power of neutrality. When your energy is strong but steady, it doesn't provoke, it doesn't demand a reaction, it just is. And that kind of presence doesn't trigger defensiveness, it commands respect. So the next time you walk into a room and feel the shift, don't question yourself, don't assume you did something wrong, just breathe, root yourself. Let your energy settle like still water, and watch what happens. Because the truth is, people aren't reacting to you. They're reacting to what your energy brings up in them, and that's not your responsibility to fix. Your only job is to remain unshaken. You attract extreme reactions, love or hate. There's no middle ground with you. People either adore you almost intensely, or they can't stand you, and they don't even know why. It's not about what you say or do, it's something deeper, something they can't explain. This isn't about being special or different. This is about magnetism. When your energy is strong, it doesn't leave room for indifference. It forces a reaction. Because energy like yours doesn't blend in, it stands out. And standing out means you become a mirror. For some, what they see in that reflection inspires them. They look at you and feel something awaken in themselves. A possibility, a strength they didn't know they had. That's where the admiration comes from. It's not really about you, It's about what you represent to them. But for others, that same reflection is uncomfortable. It shows them what they lack, what they fear, what they've buried inside themselves, and because they don't want to face it, they turn that discomfort outward onto you. That's where the resentment comes from. Again, it's not personal, it's primal. So what do? The mistake most people make is trying to control how others see them. If someone loves them, they cling to it. If someone hates them, they fight it. But those are traps. Admiration is fleeting. It's based on perception, and perception changes. If you tie your worth to it, you'll always be chasing validation. Hatred is meaningless. It's not about you, it's about the person carrying it. If you waste energy defending yourself against it, you are letting them dictate your peace. The only real choice is detachment. Not coldness, not indifference, but a deep, unshakable center that doesn't sway with praise or crumble under criticism. Think of a mountain. Storms come, winds howl, rain pours, but the mountain doesn't move. It doesn't celebrate when the sun shines, and it doesn't mourn when the clouds roll in. It just is. That's how you handle extreme reactions. When someone admires you, appreciate it, but don't depend on it. When someone resents you, observe it, but don't engage with it. Your energy is yours, their reaction is theirs, and the moment you stop letting their emotions dictate yours, you reclaim your power. Because the truth is, strong energy isn't meant to be diluted for the comfort of others, it's meant to be mastered. So, let them love you, let them hate you, and stay unmoved. You sense others' emotions without trying. You walk into a crowded room, and within seconds you feel it. The weight of unspoken tension, the undercurrent of someone's hidden frustration, the subtle shift in energy when a person is forcing a smile. You don't need words, you don't need explanations, you just know. This isn't imagination, this isn't overthinking, this is sensitivity. A deep, almost instinctive attunement to the emotions around you. And while some might call it intuition or empathy, the truth runs deeper. You're not just noticing emotions, you're absorbing them. This is the double-edged nature of a powerful aura. Most people think of energy as something you project, your confidence, your presence, your vibe. But energy is also something you receive. And when your aura is strong, it doesn't just radiate outward, it pulls inward, drawing in the emotions, moods, and even the unresolved pain of those around you. That's why crowded places exhaust you. That's why being around certain people leaves you feeling inexplicably drained. It's not just social fatigue, it's energetic osmosis. You're carrying what isn't yours to carry. The ancient teachings recognize this as both a gift and a test. A gift because this sensitivity allows you to understand people in ways others can't. You don't just hear words, you feel intention. You don't just observe actions, you sense motivations. This is a rare kind of wisdom, one that can guide you in relationships, in decisions, in life. But a test, because without boundaries, this same gift becomes a burden. Absorbing too much of others' energy clouds your own. It distorts your emotions, making it hard to distinguish between what you truly feel and what you've unconsciously taken on. It's like drinking from a cup that's been passed around too many times. Eventually you forget what clean water even tastes like. So what's the solution? It's not shutting down your sensitivity. That would be like blinding yourself to avoid seeing darkness. The answer is discernment, learning to navigate the emotional currents around you without drowning in them. One of the most powerful techniques is grounding. Imagine roots growing from your feet deep into the earth. Feel them anchoring you, steadying you, connecting you to something solid and unchanging. This isn't just visualization, it's energetic hygiene. The earth absorbs excess energy, so when you feel overwhelmed, when you've taken on too much, you release it downward. You return what isn't yours. Another practice is shielding. Before entering a crowded space, envision a barrier of light around you. Not a wall but a filter. It allows you to perceive emotions without being consumed by them. You can still sense, still understand, but you don't become. And finally, there's the art of detachment. Just because you feel something doesn't mean you have to fix it. Just because you sense someone's pain doesn't mean you have to carry it. Compassion doesn't require self-sacrifice. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is observe without absorbing. This is the balance of a strong aura, to be open enough to understand, but closed enough to remain whole. Because the truth is, the world is full of emotions. Some will lift you, some will try to pull you under. Your responsibility isn't to change them, it's to navigate them without losing yourself. So the next time you walk into a room and feel the weight of unspoken feelings, remember, you are not a sponge, you are a mirror. Reflect, observe, but don't absorb. Your energy is yours, keep it that way. Animals and children are drawn to you. Dogs follow you without a command. Cats curl up beside you as if they've known you forever. Children, even the shy ones, lock eyes with you, stare a little too long, or reach out to touch your hand without hesitation. This isn't coincidence, this isn't random, this is energy. Animals and children don't filter the world through logic, through social conditioning, through the masks adults learn to wear. They operate on instinct. They sense what's beneath the surface, and when they're drawn to you, it's because they recognize something pure, something strong, something real. The old wisdom says that innocence recognizes innocence, not innocence as in naivety, but innocence as in truth. Animals and children respond to energy that hasn't been corrupted by pretense. They're drawn to those who carry a certain authenticity, a certain presence that doesn't hide, doesn't manipulate, doesn't play games. This is the confirmation of a powerful aura. But it's also a responsibility, because the same energy that attracts them also affects them. Children mirror the emotions of those around them. Animals respond to the subtlest shifts in energy. When you're calm, they're calm. When you're unsettled, they react. This is why, in the presence of the innocent, you must be mindful, not in the sense of walking on eggshells. Children and animals can sense forced behavior just as easily as dishonesty, but in the sense of alignment. If your energy is scattered, they'll feel it. If your energy is heavy, they'll carry it. So what do? First, recognize the gift. Not everyone experiences this. Some people spend their lives wondering why animals avoid them, or why children seem indifferent. If you have this pull, It's a sign that your energy carries a certain purity, a certain strength that resonates with those who haven't yet learned to doubt. Second, respect the connection. When a child hands you a toy, when a dog rests its head on your lap, when a cat chooses your lap over everyone else's, these are small but profound acts of trust. Honor them. Don't force interaction, but don't dismiss it either. Meet them where they are. And finally, protect it. The world is full of noise, of chaos, of energy that can distort even the strongest aura. If you want to maintain this connection, if you want to remain someone who attracts the innocent, you have to guard your own energy. Avoid unnecessary toxicity. Spend time in nature. Cultivate stillness, because the truth is, animals and children don't just see you, they feel you. And the moment your energy becomes something else, the moment it loses that authenticity, they'll sense it. So stay true, stay clear, stay open, and let those who recognize light always find it in you. You struggle with small talk. There's a certain kind of exhaustion that comes from conversations that go nowhere. The weather, the traffic, the surface level back and forth that feels like chewing on air. No substance, no nourishment, just empty motions to fill silence. And for you, it's not just boring, it's draining, like your energy is being siphoned away, minute by minute, word by word. This isn't antisocial behavior. This isn't you being too serious or too intense. This is your energy rejecting what doesn't align with it. Deep souls crave depth, not because they're better than anyone else, but because their energy operates on a different frequency. Superficial talk isn't just uninteresting, it's unnatural, like trying to breathe in a room with no oxygen. You can force it, but it will always feel wrong. The old teachings recognize this. They don't dismiss small talk as meaningless. They simply understand it for what it is, a social tool, a way for people to test the waters before diving deeper. Not everyone is ready to dive. Not everyone even realizes there is something deeper, and that's not their fault. But here's where most people make a mistake. They assume the solution is to endure it, to grin and bear the emptiness, to play the game until they can escape. And in doing so, they dim their own light. They shrink their energy to fit into spaces that weren't made for them. There's another way. Instead of resisting small talk, redirect it, not forcefully, not with impatience, but with the quiet confidence of someone who knows there's more beneath the surface. If someone mentions the weather, you don't have to launch into philosophy, but you can shift the energy. The rain today felt almost cleansing, didn't it? Simple, subtle, but now the conversation has texture. Now it's no longer just about the weather, it's about the feeling of the weather. This isn't about turning every interaction into a deep discussion. It's about honoring your own energy while meeting people where they are. Because the truth is, not everyone avoids depth out of fear. Some just don't know how to access it. Your energy can be the bridge if you let it. But there's a warning in this wisdom. Impatience is the enemy. Frustration with small talk often comes from a place of judgment, a silent belief that others should be deeper, should be more aware, but that expectation is its own kind of arrogance. Not everyone is meant to explore the depths right now, and that's okay. Your role isn't to force depth, it's to invite it. When you stop resisting the surface and instead learn to navigate it with grace, something interesting happens. People begin to relax around you. They sense that you're not judging them for staying shallow. You're simply waiting patiently for the moment they're ready to go deeper. And when they are, they'll come to you. Because energy like yours doesn't just crave depth, it attracts it. So the next time you're trapped in a conversation that feels empty, don't disengage. Don't force meaning where there isn't any. Just be. Let your presence be the reminder that there's more, always more, for those willing to see it. You're often misunderstood. You say one thing, they hear another. You offer help, they think you're judging them. You speak plainly, they twist your words into something else entirely. At first, you wonder if it's you. Maybe you're not communicating clearly. Maybe you're giving off the wrong energy. But after a while, you start to notice a pattern. It's not what you're saying, it's how they're hearing it. This is the paradox of a powerful aura. When your energy is strong, it doesn't just communicate your words, it amplifies them. And like a spotlight in a dark room, it doesn't just illuminate what you pointed at, it reveals everything, including the things people would rather keep hidden. Their insecurities, their unhealed wounds, their secret fears. And when those things get exposed, people don't blame themselves, they blame you, because it's easier to say you're arrogant than to admit they feel small. It's easier to call you're intimidating than to face their own lack of confidence. It's easier to twist your words than to confront the truth those words reveal. This isn't about you, this is about them. But that doesn't make it any less frustrating. So what do you do? The first step is clarity. When your energy is strong, ambiguity is dangerous. The less you leave to interpretation, the less room there is for projection. Speak simply, directly, without room for hidden meaning. This isn't about dumbing yourself down. It's about removing the fog between your intention and their understanding. The second step is consistency. People misunderstand what they can't predict. If your words say one thing but your energy says another, confusion sets in. But when your actions, your tone, and your presence all align, there's less to misinterpret. Be the same person in every room, not because you're rigid, but because you're clear. And the final step, let go. No matter how clear you are, some people will still hear what they want to hear. Some will still project onto you, and that's not your problem to solve. You can't control how others perceive you. You can only control how you present yourself. So stop trying to explain. Stop trying to adjust. Say what you mean what you say, and let the misunderstandings fall where they may. Because the truth is, a strong aura will always disturb the comfortable. That's not a flaw, that's a function. Your light doesn't need approval to shine. Let it. You feel drained after socializing. It's not the talking that tires you. It's not the people. It's something deeper, something that links long after the conversation ends. A heaviness, a weight, as if you've been pouring from an empty cup the entire time. This isn't social anxiety. This isn't introversion. This is energy mismatch. A fundamental imbalance between what you give and what you receive. Think of your energy like electricity. When you're operating at full power, you're like a high voltage current. Strong, vibrant, capable of lighting up entire rooms. But when you connect to systems that aren't designed to handle that voltage, something happens. The energy doesn't flow, it drains, because instead of being met with equal force, your power has to downgrade itself just to make the connection work. You lower your frequency, you soften your edges, you become less of yourself so others can keep up. And that's exhausting. The old teachings recognize this phenomenon. They don't call it social fatigue, they call it energy leakage. The slow, steady loss of vital force that happens when you're constantly adjusting yourself to fit spaces that weren't built for you. But here's the crucial distinction. This isn't about people being less than you. This isn't about superior. This is about compatibility. Just as you wouldn't plug a high-powered device into a weak outlet and blame the outlet for not working, you can't blame people for not matching your energy. The problem isn't them. The problem is the connection. So what's the solution? First, awareness. Start paying attention to how different interactions feel, not just in the moment, but afterward. Do you leave feeling energized, inspired, or do you feel like you've been running on fumes? The body knows, the energy knows. You just have to listen. Second, boundary. Not walls, not isolation, but conscious choice. If certain environments consistently drain you, ask yourself, is this necessary? Is this serving me? Is this worth the energy it costs? Sometimes the answer is yes. Some connections, even draining ones, are worth maintaining. But many aren't. And the sooner you recognize that, the sooner you stop treating your energy like an unlimited resource. Third, restoration. When you do engage in spaces that drain you, have a practice for returning to yourself. It could be as simple as 5 minutes of deep breathing, a walk in nature, a moment of silence to recalibrate. The key is to make it intentional. Don't just wait for the fatigue to pass. Actively reclaim what was lost. And finally, selectivity. Not every space deserves your presence. Not every conversation merits your energy. This isn't arrogance. It's respect. Respect for your own power. And respect for the fact that not all connections are meant to be forced. The world will try to convince you otherwise. It will tell you that you should be able to handle anything, that exhaustion is normal, that draining interactions are just part of life. But that's a lie. Energy isn't infinite, and the more you waste it on spaces that can't hold it, the less you have left for where it truly matters. So choose wisely, engage consciously, and remember, your presence is a gift. Stop giving it to those who don't know its value. You have a strong presence, even when quiet. You walk into a room and don't say a word, yet somehow people notice. Not because you're demanding attention, not because you're making noise, but because something about you lingers in the air long after you've passed through. It's not what you do, it's what you are. A quiet intensity, a silent gravity, the kind of energy that doesn't need to announce itself because it simply exists. Undeniable and unmistakable. This is the paradox of true presence. Most people think presence comes from being the loudest, the most animated, the quickest to speak, but real presence, the kind that stays with people, the kind that leaves an imprint, doesn't come from doing, it comes from being, from a depth of energy so concentrated that it doesn't need to be performed. The ancient teachings understand this well. They don't train students to command attention, they train them to hold it, not through force, but through essence. Think of the deepest part of the ocean. The surface waves crash and foam, demanding to be seen, but the real power lies beneath, in the stillness, in the depth, in the quiet weight that moves entire currents without making a sound. That's what your presence is like. And because of this, people remember you, not because you entertained them, not because you impressed them, but because you affected them. Maybe they can't explain why, maybe they don't even realize it at the time, but something about the way you carry yourself, the way you listen, the way you occupy space, it sticks. This isn't ego, this isn't about being special, this is about energy so fully realized that it doesn't dissipate, it doesn't scatter, it stays intact, leaving traces wherever you go. But here's the thing about this kind of presence. It's not always comfortable. For you or for others. For you because it means you can't hide, even in silence. You're seen, even in stillness you're felt. There's no blending in, no disappearing into the background. Your energy announces you before you even open your mouth. For others, because presence like yours is a mirror. It reflects back what's real. And not everyone is ready for that. Some will be drawn to it, some will resent it, but none will forget it. So what do you do with this? First, stop apologizing for it. Don't shrink to make others comfortable. Don't dull your energy to match those around you. Presence isn't something you turn on and off. It's who you are, and trying to suppress it is like trying to hold your breath indefinitely. Eventually you'll suffocate. Second, learn to wield it. Presence isn't just something you have. It's something you direct, like a beam of light. You choose where to focus it, on conversations that matter, on moments worth amplifying, on people who can meet it. This is why the old teachings emphasize control, not suppression. Control, the difference is crucial. Suppression is fear, control is power. When you move deliberately, you're not hesitating. You're choosing. When you speak minimally, you're not holding back. You're measuring. When you let your energy work silently, you're not hiding. You're conserving, because presence like yours isn't meant to be scared. It's meant to be applied. Finally, understand the responsibility. Energy this strong isn't neutral. It affects people. It shifts spaces. And with that comes a choice. Will you use it consciously, or let it ripple out unchecked? The answer isn't in grand gestures. It's in the small moments. The way you listen, the way you stand, the way you hold silence. These are the things that shape your presence far more than any words ever could. So the next time you walk into a room and feel eyes turn toward you, don't mistake it for judgment. It's recognition. They're not seeing someone trying to be noticed. They're seeing someone who can't be ignored. And that's power. Real power. The kind that doesn't need to prove itself. The kind that simply you experience unexplained physical sensations. There are moments when your body speaks in a language beyond words. A sudden rush of warmth through your chest when you walk into certain places. Tingling in your hands when you're focused. Chills down your spine for no apparent reason. These aren't random. These aren't glitches in your system. These are signals, physical manifestations of energy moving through you in ways most people never notice. This is your aura in motion. Most people go through life unaware of the energy they carry. They mistake these sensations for fatigue, for nerves, for tricks of the body. But when you've developed sensitivity, when your energy is strong and your awareness is open, these physical responses become undeniable. They're the body's way of translating what the energy already knows. The old teachings map this phenomenon precisely. They don't dismiss it as imagination. They recognize it as the movement of vital force. What some traditions call chi, others call prana, but what simply is life energy in its purest form. When this energy flows freely, you feel alive, clear, unstoppable. When it's blocked, you feel heavy, sluggish, stuck. And when it's particularly active, that's when the sensations come. The warmth you feel isn't just body heat, it's energy concentrating. The tingling isn't just circulation, it's power gathering in your extremities, ready to be directed. The chills aren't just temperature changes, they're your system responding to shifts in the energy around you. But here's what most people miss. These sensations aren't just happening to you, they're happening for you. They're feedback, a way for your energy to communicate what words can't. When your hands tingle during conversation, it's not random, it's your energy responding to the exchange. When warmth floods your chest in certain environments, it's not coincidence, it's resonance. When chills run through you unexpectedly, it's not just a draft, it's recognition. The key is learning to interpret this language, because once you do, you stop being at the mercy of these sensations and start working with them. The practices for this are ancient but simple. First, grounding. When energy feels too active, when the sensations become overwhelming, imagine roots growing from your feet into the earth. Feel the excess energy draining downward, leaving you centered and clear. Second, direction. Energy follows attention. When you feel it gathering in your hands, don't just notice it, use it. Extend your palms and visualize the energy flowing out as light. Or if you're practicing martial arts, channel it into your movements. Third, breath. The bridge between body and energy. When sensations arise, breathe deeply into them, not to control, but to align. This isn't about suppressing these experiences. It's about developing a relationship with them, because the more you understand this language, the more you realize your body isn't just flesh and bone. It's an antenna, tuned to frequencies most people never notice. And these sensations, they're not glitches, they're messages, waiting to be heard. You're a natural leader, even if you don't try. It happens without effort, without planning. In moments of uncertainty, heads turn toward you. In times of crisis, people wait for your response. You don't ask for this. You don't campaign for it. It simply is. As natural as breathing, as inevitable as gravity. This isn't about charisma. This isn't about confidence. This is about energy that commands trust without demanding it. Most leadership is performance. People learn to project authority, to manufacture presence, to play a role they think others want to see. But your leadership isn't performed, it's recognized. Because when energy is strong enough, when it's clear enough, grounded enough, it creates a space others instinctively want to follow. The old wisdom makes a crucial distinction here. True leadership isn't about being in front, it's about holding space. Think of the eye of a storm. It doesn't try to control the winds around it. It doesn't struggle to maintain its position. It simply is calm, centered, unmoved, and by its very nature, it becomes the reference point everything else revolves around. That's what your energy does. In chaos, you become stillness. In confusion, you become clarity. Not because you're trying to lead, but because your presence is leadership. But this comes with a warning. Power like this is easily corrupted. The moment you start needing to lead, the moment your ego gets involved, the energy shifts. It goes from service to control, from holding space to demanding it. And people feel the difference, even if they can't explain it. This is why the teachings emphasize detachment, not indifference. Detachment. The ability to guide without clinging, to direct without forcing, to be followed without needing it. Because true leadership isn't about you, it's about what moves through you. When someone looks to you for direction, they're not responding to your personality, they're responding to the energy you carry, the clarity, the steadiness, the unshakable presence that says without words, this way. Your job isn't to manufacture that. Your job is to get out of its way, to keep your energy clean, to keep your intentions clear, and to let leadership happen, not because you're trying, but because it's what your presence naturally creates. So the next time people turn to you, don't question it, don't inflate it, just recognize it for what it is. Energy calling to energy, truth recognizing truth, and do what you've always done. Not lead, but be, the rest will follow. A powerful aura isn't a flaw, it's a force, but like a sword, it must be wielded with skill. Shaolin masters don't diminish their energy, they refine it. If you saw yourself in these signs, your task isn't to shrink, it's to align.